Hello, everybody. I'm Yuri Shvalik from Luxoft. And in my presentation, I want to talk a little bit about, first of all, Luxoft introduction as a company, but also our history in connectivity solutions, and especially in SDL. In one or another way, we are in SDL for quite many years already, and you will see it during my presentation. So just wanted to share with audience, with people, also with developers who may consider to use SDL in their systems, in their apps, our success story, how we came from our own products and changed them and migrated basically to SDL. What is the work we're doing in SDL consortium right now? What is the future that we see in SDL? So just shortly before our panel discussion, wanted to give you this highlight. So a couple of words about our company, about Luxoft. Luxoft is almost 14,000 people worldwide. Our business is split between 6 main verticals. Automotive is the second one, the second largest, but also the one which has the highest priority in the industry, in the company. Like we see everywhere across the industry, automotive is growing like crazy. The same we see in our company. So from all 6 lines of business, this is the one which grows with the fastest pace, and actually we're happy inside the company that we can provide a little bit of challenge and competition to the other guys from our side. When we talk about our automotive group, it's almost 2,400 people distributed worldwide. We have main engineering and development locations around Europe and Eastern Europe. So our big R&D center is based in Germany. And also a lot of engineering people, software developers, architects are based in countries like Ukraine, Russia, Romania, Bulgaria, Sofia, so everything what goes around Eastern Europe. And our work is focused on 3 main pillars. So automotive group is basically split on 3 main groups. Digital cockpit, this is everything what you can see inside the vehicle, everything what has HMI, your IVI system, your digital cluster, all the Bluetooth connectivity experience, so everything what you experience, your interface with the car. Under the hood is actually programming and fine-tuning of all different ECU controllers, like engine control units, brake control units, migration from the CAN bus to the Ethernet to the flex arrays, so everything what needs for cars to drive, to be autonomous, but you don't see it visually. And extended vehicle is connection between the vehicle and external world, if I may say so. This topic is especially important now in the area of autonomous driving. We see that more and more in demand on the car. You need to collect the data from your autonomous vehicle, send it into the cloud, provide an analysis, and providing predictive maintenance information back. So actually, extended vehicle is the latest addition to our automotive offering, but again, we see a huge potential and huge need on this in the industry, which I'm sure everybody else does. But coming back to the automotive, to connectivity solutions and SDL types of solutions. So in 2012, similarly like many companies in the industry, we realized it was obvious for everybody the huge gap which appeared between automotive system and mobile world. So automotive system were and maybe still is very closed. They had huge development cycles which takes many years to complete. Huge number of people, you have to freeze requirements 3 years before you even start in the implementation. So by the time when system is released, it's already way outdated with features which were actual just 2 or 3 years ago. There is a good explanation why this has happened. There is big security requirements for the automotive system. If your phone crashes, okay, you will just reboot it. If your head unit crashes and then it affects some CAN bus, it can result in fatality. So there is a reason for this, but users doesn't care. They want to have similar like mobile phone experience in their vehicle. They saw this gap and they complain about this gap to automotive companies, and everybody had to do something about this. Basically, it was, and again, still is, the challenge for the whole industry. Obvious response for the many car companies and many tier 1 companies was to develop a solution to pair these devices together. And as always, it happened in the automotive, nobody talked to anybody, and companies just started to work internally and develop their own solutions without trying to share it and trying to do it proprietary. And what it caused is something that we call zoo of X-Link technologies. You can see many companies who are still in the room with some of their previous technologies here. And this resulted just maybe nice solutions for edge-specific car companies, but absolutely unportable and unreusable between different companies. So when Luxoft approached the connectivity project, and when we decided to start our own R&D in this area, we didn't want to repeat the same mistake. We didn't want to make yet another connectivity solution which will be proprietary for us. So what we did, we started a project which is called Avialink. Maybe some of you heard this name, still from the Geneva consortium. And the goal of Avialink was to develop open source connectivity standard. Not just a connectivity solution, but really a connectivity standard which would be reusable by any car companies or by any tier 1 supplier. And most importantly, it would be a standard. The standard which will be promoted across the industry, supported by the industry, developed together with the industry, and then known for everybody. So that was the vision which Luxoft started still in 2012. And we went to this vision to Geneva consortium, which is the great place to talk about such topics. A lot of car companies are often spend time in Geneva and tier 1 suppliers. And in Geneva consortium, we started something which is called Smart Device Connectivity Project. The goal of this project was really to define this standard based on 3 typical standards that were available at this time. So our Avialink, MirrorLink, and CarPlay, Android Auto, which, by the way, just started at that time with very rough and early ideas. And so the idea was to combine them all together into one combined project. What happened next year, that actually Ford appeared on the stage with SDL project. And to our very positive and nice surprise, the Ford has absolutely similar goals in mind. The idea was to develop open source project. The idea was promoted across different car companies and tier 1, and the idea was to do it in the open source and Geneva consortium. So Ford contributed SDL to Geneva at all members meeting in 2013. And for us, while we shared this vision quite well, and we didn't want to develop, as I mentioned earlier, our own proprietary solution, we basically decided to migrate our Avialink to Ford SDL. So what we do, we take the latest version of SDL from the Git repository. We built some of our features which were really needed for us, for our customers, for our projects on top of that. But basically, it was completely SDL compliant solution which would work in Ford head unit and which would work in any other system that would support SDL. So we were actually from the tier 1, tier 2 companies, one of the first who made this prototype and adopted the SDL solutions in our own projects, in our own vehicles, in our own solutions. At the same time, we started to work with Ford and supported this initiative. And so you can see that SDL actually had a very long history, starting from still 2011, 2012, early versions that appeared. And together with all these guys, you see, went through the quite big list of changes, ideas, improvements, and really making SDL from this some very early ideas to really well worth looking at the system. It was a long path. We didn't do all of this work. We definitely had a lot of contribution, and we had a big role in supporting some of these features. But of course, as you all know, the lead was always done by Ford and later by Livia. So very happy that in 2016 and actually in 2017, it's all resulted in the creation of SDLC, SDL Consortium, which from our point of view gives very good next step for all the ideas which were started very early. So everything that we thought about when we started Avialink, everything what we heard in Geneva, everything what we heard when we joined this work was finally realized when we knew that SDLC consortium appeared and happened. Of course, Luxoft became an active member of the SDLC. It was a very logical step for us. And so now in the consortium, we support a lot of work which is related to SDL Core. Actually, the SDL Core, which is available in SDLC at the moment, is based on a lot of source code developed by Luxoft engineer. So still it was started in 2012, then migrated to SDLC. We know a lot about this source code. We develop a lot of this source code. So we are able to support some of these features. But of course, we are participating in steering committee. We are involved in offering some new ideas, improvement opportunities for SDLC. and with the maintenance for the continuous integration systems and requirement development. So again, very proud that we are here, have at this stage of development of the technology, that finally we built this big consortium around it. We have hackathons, developers who are interested in developing solution. It's very nice to see that all the ideas which started very early are now realizing and becoming true, becoming reality. When we look at the future, there is a lot of opportunities how people can use SDL. There is business ideas, there is some specific proposals that are currently discussed in the consortium. There are technology improvements, which is very low-level technical improvement that can be done. But overall, smartphone is becoming not only part of the automotive system, but more or less part of the person's ecosystem, and it's not becoming, it's actually already became something like this. So you can use your phone inside the vehicle, but you can also use your phone when you're approaching the vehicle or when you're entering the vehicle. So one of the use cases that we're developing internally and thinking internally is how to use your phone to identify a user. When you get into the car, you don't need to select your driver profile, you just connect the proper phone to it, and it's very easy to identify you based on your phone. Some of your settings, some of your storage information are personalized on this phone, and then it's automatically applied to your head unit or to your car today versus, for example, your wife or somebody else who's driving this car. This is nice for personal vehicle, but this is even better for commercial and rental vehicles. So if you're renting a car and you sit inside the car, you connect your phone to it, and just by using, for example, SDL app, you basically customize your system in the way how you get used to. And it has all your favorite radio station, music, maybe some seat preferences, other preferences. It's very nice use case, and it's very nice approach that we see can need it. Another use cases is how you can do it when you approach the car, and how the car can identify you even before you sit inside it, how the car can unlock and behave in this case. So without going too much into details, it's very nice to see how the industry is evolving, and that phone and apps can be used in a variety of cases to be applied in the vehicle. And we're just looking forward what else the developers will come up with their ideas and how they can utilize this technology even better. To finish this presentation, I want to talk a little bit why is actually SDL is important, and why we think SDL will be becoming even more important in the industry. So the fact that such a connected solution is needed is very well recognized in the industry. When you go out and you see the white paper which is standing there, a rollout which is standing there with the list of companies who are supporting SDLC, I think it's the best factor and the best answer to the question that yes, industry needs this standard. You see how many companies already supporting it, and I'm sure the list will even grow. On the other hand, we truly believe, and I think past years shows that only open source standard, which is collaborated by many companies, can survive in this way. So who needs open source standard which doesn't have closed standard which doesn't have apps? If you have the best technology in the world, but mobile community doesn't support it, and you have only one or two apps, nobody actually needs it. Only open source standard which is used by many companies and which is adapted by many mobile app developers can survive in this place. Definitely there is very big and strong analogs on the market, CarPlay, Android Auto, a couple of them, and people talked a lot about this solution on the market today on the presentation, but it's clear that this technology has their own use case, their own focus, and there is only somehow interaction which what SDL is capable for. Android Auto and CarPlay, they are mainly focused on their specific use cases, and they're mainly focused to drive business needs of the company which owned which this technology owned by. When SDL is much more open standard and much better used for using many people interest. So if you're a mobile app developer, if you're OEM company, if you're tier 1 company, your opinion will be taken into account. You can really contribute, and you can really use and influence how the technology will be developed. well, not so much with other two solutions which are shown here on the slide. So we definitely believe that the future of the connected technologies are after SDL. We show it in our example when we converted our own research and development activities towards SDL. And yeah, looking forward how the technology will evolve and how much more interesting apps and solutions we'll see soon based on the SDL. Thank you.